This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Welcome, listeners. I'm your host, Dani, and I'm the first-time reader who's going through this 15-book series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we are covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host, Brett, who's a longtime fan of the series, and he's acting as my tour guide on this journey. We want to acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Aaron Kirkwood. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 27 and 28 of The Dragon Reborn.
Yeah, so chapter 27, we have Tel'aran'rhiod, and 28 is A Way Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a first experience, like, kind of, sort of, with Tel'aran'rhiod.
Of somebody wanting to be there on purpose.
And, like, kind of knowing where they're going or what they're doing, kind of, sort of. That's why I said, like, kind of, sort of. Like, medium.
But,
like...
I feel like everything was very unprepared.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everything in these two chapters was very impulsive, and
that's a good way to describe it.
It's just
But it's like she knew she was there, so that's why I was like, this is, like, first experience.
Somebody went there on purpose.
Yeah, let's say that.
Because I don't think that Perrin or Rand, like, or any of them are, like, going there on purpose right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah. So we do have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Second chapter's not as exciting, a little bit more, like, linear in what happens, but, you know.
Yeah, it could have been summed up in about a paragraph.
Yeah.
It doesn't go very deep.
No.
Matt's not very deep.
Yeah, to, like, go into his thoughts, it's very, like...
He's a little surface level.
Yeah, that's an easy way to say it, so... being nice about it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, because I know you're going to be really excited about today's fun fact.
Yeah.
Because it's a continuation of the fun fact we did with Spencer.
Oh, the sword fighting guy.
Yeah. I kind of dropped a hint about, like, I have a theory about why his name is Jerome.
Oh, yeah, you said we would go over it later, and we were all thankful that you stopped the story.
That was you basically saying, no, you're not allowed to talk anymore, so now I get to talk a little bit more.
I wanted to talk to Spencer about the Wheel of Time, not listen to you talk about a sword master.
Yeah, I know, but this is good. And it's not a very good theory, but it's a theory.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, don't judge me too hard on this. I did my best.
I
did my medium best.
I would never judge you.
Okay, so let's get into this. So, and it's kind of cool. There's like some connecting dots here that I got to piece together. So we know Jerome is like the greatest blade master who ever lived, but we also talked about how it's likely based off Miyamoto Musashi, who was not just a blade master, he was also a writer.
And he wrote his own history.
No, he didn't write his own history. He wrote books on combat, and they're like quite well known for combat.
Okay.
But the connecting piece here is the fact that he was a writer, and that's where the name Jerome comes in, because there was a Saint Jerome around 400 Common Era. And he was a Latin priest and historian who was most well known for his translation of most of the Bible into Latin, which is known as the Vulgate. Now, Jerome likely had a fluency in Greek and Hebrew and moved to Jerusalem to continue that work. And Jerome is important because he used the Hebrew Bible to create his work instead of using the existing Greek translated Bible. So he was like going back to the source instead of using the Greek version, which was the norm.
Right.
Now, going a little bit further here with the connecting pieces here, one of his critics of this, because he was going against the norm of using the Greek and went to the Hebrew Bible, one of his critics was St. Augustine, who was viewed as one of, like, the most important fathers of the Latin Church for his writings. So they were both writers. But the important thing about St. Augustine was he was the first one to write about the Christian historical periodization of the world, known as the 7 Ages of the World. So in Christianity, the timeline of the world is broken into 7 ages. And that sounds really familiar for the Wheel of Time, because there are also
7 ages.
7 spokes on the wheel for the Wheel of Time. Yeah, and it goes from the creation of Adam to the end of times. So like beginning to end. And that's where the connecting little pieces is there's Augustine, there's Jerome, and then there's Jerome, who's based on Musashi.
Okay.
So, a little bit of a stretch, but...
All right.
Fun connecting pieces when you go on Wikipedia.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why not? Down the rabbit hole, some might say. Okay, so last time we had Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine together trying to figure out this puzzle left behind by the Black Aja. They get a visit from Else, Brinwell, and then Egwene gets a little bit of a visit from Lanfear, which is super sketchy, in the middle of the White Tower. And then they wander into some creepy second basement and find some obviously not real information, or some like very real information that has been placed there.
Yeah, it's very like
one or the other. It's either way, it's stupid, and they're stupid.
And it's important to note they didn't get murdered here. So
they didn't get murdered, but I don't think they're being very smart.
Probably not, but there's a lot of clues pointing to Tyr.
Yes, there's a lot of clues pointing to Tyr. That's basically what we get.
That's like the main piece of information.
Right. So we get into chapter 27, Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
And it's the swirly picture.
Yes. Did you have any extra thoughts on that? Because last time
no.
I was like, maybe it's like the ring, but you were like, no, it's nothing to do with the world of dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dream world.
Sure.
Dream world picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Why are you questioning me on this?
I don't know.
It's still definitely not.
It's a circle. It's kind of shaped like a big giant ring.
No.
Digging your heels in.
No, it's swirly whirly, like being hypnotized into a dream world.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are in Egwene's point of view. We probably shouldn't start out by arguing him.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so we are in her new accepted room. So big deal.
Big deal. Very new to her.
Very new. And it's like a palace compared to her novice room. And Elaine and Nynaeve are there. Egwene is preparing for her sleepy terangrial time. And Elaine and Nynaeve are going to be there to somehow help. Even though they never actually discuss how they're going to help.
Yeah, also like making sure that Egwene doesn't like get murdered by a gray man or gray woman or anything like that. So in her sleep.
While she's in the dream world.
Yeah.
Like.
It's not a great plan.
No.
But we do have to talk about a couple things because you had this crazy theory about the whole ring giving off the, my precious vibes, like Gollum in the ring. And then she's like shutting down everybody else about trying to help out. So. Yep. We can definitely talk about that if you want.
Well, yeah, we get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. I jumped the gun just a touch,
yeah.
But it's like that's a whole big thing this chapter too.
It really is, yeah. So during the day, we get that they were working in the kitchens, and Varen came in and just asked very loudly, "Have you found anything yet?"
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And so
not subtle. So is that Varen just being like,
I have no idea.
Vapid. Like, I don't know what shit.
I don't know. I like how Egwene used the word absent-minded to describe the Browns. I was trying to come up with a word because she's not necessarily ditzy, because she's obviously quite bright, and she's, I don't know, like I was trying to like come up with how to actually describe someone who's very smart and picks up on everything, but sort of gets lost in information,
like isn't really paying attention fully
to like social cues and stuff.
I get that.
So like absent-minded is probably a good word for that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think a lot of the times a lot of Browns are kind of described in a similar way. Yeah. Where they're like so involved in their work that they're not paying attention to the outside world. Yeah. It's just like people's perception of them though.
Yeah, and I also think that these girls are also on like hyper alert.
So maybe she didn't ask that loudly.
And Varen like coming in and being like, "Have you found anything?" Like she wasn't asking you to go into like a bunch of detail. She's just curious, and you could have just been like, "Yes, Aes Sedai, we're onto something," or like it doesn't matter.
Should we come see you later?
Yeah, exactly. Or like, no.
Could have been literally anything they're talking about.
But then like Nynaeve starts freaking out and braid tugging, and they're all freaking out because guess who else comes into the kitchen?
Literally everybody.
A bunch of Aes Sedai looking for some food. Yeah. Like, oh, so skeptical. Like, I'm so skeptical of all the Aes Sedai going to the kitchen for food.
But they're also like staring at the girls. Totally. No? Okay.
No.
Well, there's like reasons for all of them to come and like check on them.
Yes,
and they kind of go over that, like Sheriam because she's the mistress of novices, and Elida because Elaine.
Well, they're not novices anymore.
Well, it's mistress of like novices and accepted. You can still go as an accepted to be dealt with by Sheriam.
No, and they still are doing that.
That is happening.
Yeah, so they're certainly being skeptical of everyone they have ever met, and Egwene now is getting ready for bed. And Elaine is talking all sort of like absent-mindedly about maybe choosing green. That way she can marry a warder. Yeah. Unless it's Rand.
A specific warder.
And Egwene gets her usual stab of jealousy, even though she knows she can't marry him. blah, 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 that crap again.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, every time I see this from Egwene, though, it's the same thought that comes to my head. It's like,
the same every time.
Why do you think that just because you don't want to or can't marry Rand, that no one else is allowed to?
Yeah, because she's possessive.
Yeah, but, like, she's trying to be not possessive.
No, I know.
But,
Here's the thing about people.
Oh, yeah.
They're not always with it with how they're coming across to other people.
Right.
Right. Or to us in her head.
Yeah.
More like, but...
Not being truthful with yourself.
So Egwene ties the stone ring around her neck, and Nynaeve says that maybe they should go to the dream world together. It might work if they're both touching it, but then Egwene gets a little possessive again.
Yes.
It's her dream world and her secret Tel'aran'rhiod, and then a bunch of excuses to go alone.
Yeah, like, I don't even know if it's going to work if we both touch it, and maybe I should
would
go
feel better if you're both watching over me. There's no way Elaine can actually do anything if both of us are sleeping.
Yeah,
and Elaine's like, hey, yes I can.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of excuses, but, like, on what level are you thinking this is an issue? Like, is it just, like, a little surface level issue, or is it, like, gonna run deeper, like...
I think it's already run pretty deep.
Like, Matt's dagger, cursed type,
I don't think it's cursed.
No, not necessarily, but, like, that deep into him, where it's, like, a part of him, basically.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely important to Egwene.
Okay.
That this is hers.
Okay.
And it's her thing. She's the dreamer. It makes her special. And I don't think she's gonna give that up or share it very easily.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So sleep eventually comes to Egwene after thinking about if Rand and Perrin are okay. And she also thinks, who was that woman?
Yes. Okay.
So Lanfear, right? Like, that's the only other woman that could be. Who was she?
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. No, that's pretty much who she's thinking about,
Okay.
so...
Alright, so she enters the dream world and is in some, like, flowery meadow with rolling hills, which is very similar, in my mind, to where Nynaeve was in her testing with Lan.
Okay. Like the field.
The field.
Yeah.
It's just like a flowery meadow with, like, butterflies and birds chirping.
Yeah.
And it's just a very pleasant, happy place, and it just, in my mind, I pictured the, like, literal exact same location.
Okay, here we don't get any, like, towers in the distance.
No,
So.
I didn't see any towers in the distance, but it just reminded me of that.
Are you saying that when you think of happy things, you don't immediately go to, meadow with flowers?
I mean, like, maybe that's
Sometimes.
one of them.
It'd probably be a lot more common back then, too, And I say back then in the sense of, like, fantasy novel, but... Yeah. But, like, old-timey villages... Meadows, flowers. Yeah, we don't have many of those here.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like any. So.
But I mean, I would like to go to a flowery meadow with butterflies.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
Okay. Did you catch the color of her dress?
Blue. Sky blue.
And then?
With pearls.
And then it flips to green.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
When?
It's a blue dress, and then it changes momentarily to green when she frowns.
Oh.
As she frowned momentarily, it flipped to green.
Oh, weird. No, I didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
Because I wrote, everything seems lovely. She's even out of her white dress that she's starting to hate in a sky blue one, except she has the Tel'aran'rhiod around her neck.
Yeah.
That part I picked up on.
You're typically one to pick up on colors of dresses, and you didn't notice that it changed.
That's true, I didn't. Yeah, you're right. Is her dress like a warder cloak?
No, I don't think it is like a camouflage
color-changing
blue
dress?
Green. No. I think it just
Why
changed.
not? It should be.
It could be.
Why don't Aes Sedai have those dresses?
Yeah.
To, like, make them invisible also, or even just the cloaks.
Yeah, it's a warder thing. Because, okay, here's an answer.
Uh-huh.
Because they can just, like, go invisible if they want to. Boom.
Not really.
Okay. That's the best one I got for you.
Okay,
I don't
that's bad. I want them to have one. If I was an Aes Sedai, I would have a warder cloak.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe the Greens do when they go into battle.
Oh, maybe.
Huh?
Okay.
See, I learned some things.
They don't typically need it. So they don't, maybe they have them, they just don't use them.
Nope.
No, okay.
No, they don't.
All right,
nope.
I'm trying here.
I know.
I've tried harder too. It's a tough night.
Yeah, okay. So she tests to see if she can channel here in this place. And she can. And I think it's very interesting. She's very aware of where she is and why. and thinks about how she isn't learning anything here. So she's like, okay, like, I have a mission. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly where I am. And it's not, like, sort of wishy-washy. You know, like, if you go into, like, a dream and you're like, what's going on? And you, like, I thought maybe she might...
Were you expecting her to be, like, more unaware of where she was?
Like, you know how in the testing, it's sort of like she's unaware of what's going on, but has sort of a voice in her head a little bit.
To try to guide her.
I thought it might be similar to that.
Okay.
But no, this is, like, full on...
Much more consciously, like, aware.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good comparison because, like, the testing ter'angreals, like, it's connected, and we kind of got that thing with the ring and the ter'angreal when they, like, misfired or whatever, that they're connected, but not the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we've also, to be fair, I mean, we've also seen other people in this dream world, and... like, they are aware of what's going on.
They're just like, what the hell is this?
And even when Rand, like, I was thinking back to the first book, when Rand can tell Baalzamon, this is a dream, that, like, sort of fucks everything up.
Yeah,
because now he's aware of where he is and what's going on, and, right? So,
right, okay. Yeah, and it kind of, like, the big thing with this chapter is we got to figure out the rules of this place.
Yeah.
Like, how does it work?
Yes.
So.
Okay, so she takes a step, and then she's in some dark hallway of an inn, and she sees some guy sitting in a room against a pillar in his undies and appearing to be asleep.
Yeah, and there's a big dog.
Yeah, and he has himself chained against the pillar, but, like, he's holding the ends of the chain. Like, he's holding himself there.
Yeah. And when you say some guy, like, immediately we know it's Perrin.
Well, it's a shaggy-haired youth with a big dog.
Yeah.
And I wrote Perrin, of course.
Yeah.
Like, before
it doesn't
I flipped
take
the page and it said Perrin.
It doesn't take long to figure out, and for Egwene to figure out that it is Perrin.
No, right away she knows. And then the wolf stands up and starts towards her, and Egwene calls for Perrin to wake up and tell the wolf that, like, she's a friend.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, he does wake up and says, Hopper, no! And then the door swings shut, and she's in darkness, and I just think, okay, so that's a little bit of a glimpse as to where Perrin's at.
Okay, so we gotta talk about this. So, number one question. So, is this, and again, this is gonna be a little bit hard to piece together. We've seen the dream world where it's like, everything is in your own dream and nothing's really real.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we saw a Perrin dream where there was, like, I can't remember who it was, like his mother at the stove or something like that. It was way back when. And
no,
then, like,
it was Mistress, the blacksmith wife.
Yeah.
Not his mother. Luhan, yeah.
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't his mom. Because that's the whole thing about Perrin is, like, where's his parents? But...
yeah, he has parents. He just lives with the blacksmith because he's apprentice.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was like, was she real in that dream, or was she just a figment? And that was also where I think the wolf maybe got set on fire or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to recall everything here.
Yeah.
But then in this dream, like, is this really Perrin that Egwene is seeing, or is this like an interpretation of?
No, this is Perrin.
This is actually Perrin that she's seeing.
This is Perrin
in his own dream.
Okay. And this is how he has protected himself from the dream world. Okay. Because we saw him at the beginning of this book.
Yep.
Sleeping in his underwear because he sleeps lighter when he's cold. Yeah. So he doesn't get into such a deep sleep.
And here we get where his head's like lolling back and forth.
It's like lolling back and forth. And
so he's like kind of out of it, but
we got, the last time we saw him, he had a crazy dream world experience where he like watched someone die and then woke up with his like blood all over him.
Yeah, they got their head ripped off.
Right, and that was the first time he saw Hopper.
Yeah, sorry, not his head, his skin.
His skin ripped off from the top of his head.
And all of his skin.
Gross.
Okay.
So...
and then Hopper.
Hopper, that was the first time he saw Hopper. And he was like, no, you're dead. And he was like a little bit misbelieving.
Yeah.
And so that was his first experience, and that was the last time we've seen him.
Okay.
So, obviously, there have been more dream world encounters for him. World of Dreams, whatever. He's accepting that Hopper's there as his, like... Guardian in the dream world.
Cool.
Because he goes, Hopper, no, it's not like... you're not Hopper. Like, he's not fighting it anymore.
Yeah, he like knows Hopper's Hopper, and then Egwene's there too. So when he recognizes Egwene,
and he's clearly had some issues because to stop himself from going wandering around the dream world, he's like tied himself with a chain to a pillar somehow.
Well, and it's a funny thing because like sometimes if you read this quickly, you don't notice that it's like Perrin is the one who's holding the chains together. Yeah. It's like the only thing keeping the chains there is Perrin's muscles.
It says he's holding himself prisoner against the pillar.
Yeah. So also, let's talk about this. When Perrin first met Hopper and Elias, Egwene was with him. Hopper should know who Egwene is. Hopper died protecting Egwene.
Well, just because Hopper is coming towards Egwene, she's scared.
She's terrified of the wolf.
Like Hopper, isn't necessarily looking to attack.
It doesn't look that way.
We don't get anything like he's snarling or growling or lunging at her.
Hopper just like stands up and starts
walking towards her, like almost like a dog would to greet you at the door.
Except for the fact that wolves are gigantic.
Right, and then Egwene starts going like, "Wow, wolf!" Like,
it's just funny. Like she didn't put the pieces together that like she was there. She met Hopper. She knew, but again, she didn't
really. Like she knew there were wolves.
She didn't communicate.
She didn't know their names. She knew there were wolves around, and she knew that Perrin had some connection with them. Probably.
Yeah, but like if you're not getting the receiving information, then it's different. So,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's cool. So this is a real thing. She sees Perrin. He sees her too.
Yes.
So that's important to know. So next time we see Perrin, maybe we'll get some like recall to this dream about him seeing Egwene.
Sure hope we're gonna get something to piece this together.
Okay.
So then she thinks that she wants to wake up, but that doesn't work. So that's not the way out, turns out. Yeah. And then there's like this whirring sound, and she finds herself in a forest at nighttime, and she spies a campfire.
Yeah, might as well go towards it.
So she sneaks over and does a terrible job of sneaking because she sees a tired-looking Rand who says, "You might as well show yourself. You've made enough noise already to wake the dead."
Yeah,
and this is a call to Elias with Perrin sneaking up to him.
Yeah, there you go.
Because Elias goes, "Well, you might as well show yourself," or her and... Maybe it was both of them.
Yeah.
Or was it just Perrin and he like left Egwene just in case?
Yeah, with Bella.
Yeah. So, he's like, "You might as well show yourself. I can hear you out there. Yeah. I've also been following you for a day."
And caught food for you.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so that's just a...
Yeah, that's a nice callback.
That's funny, yeah. So she steps out and says like, "It's me, Egwene. This is a dream. I'm in your dreams."
I love Rand's response to this,
Rand's
by the way.
Like, "Fuck you. You think I don't know this is a dream?"
Yeah, like, no shit, it's a dream.
Yeah.
I know it's a dream.
Yeah, you think I don't know that? But then he says, "That doesn't make it any less real."
Ooh.
So he has learned some things.
He has, and we get this too. Like, we get a nice summary of what Rand is going through on his long journey.
Yeah.
And it's not good for Rand.
No. And he yells out in the dark, "How many more are you gonna send? I won't be tempted."
Yeah, so let's talk about how he's been tempted.
And Egwene is like, "What?"
Well, she doesn't pick up on any of this.
No,
and she makes
It's me, I'm Egwene.
It's a bunch of bad choices she makes with Rand here, so...
Well, like, what else could she do, though? Like, there was nothing she could do.
No, I get it, but, like, okay, so let's talk about the faces he's seen first.
Okay, so he's like, "My mother was here with a poisoned honey cake for me, and my father was here with a knife for my ribs, and she tried to give me kisses and more."
Ooh, okay, so who's the she?
Celine?
Okay, that's the question. And so we get this whole, like, interpretation of people visiting him wearing faces of people he knows.
Yes.
So it's like his mother, his father, and, like, who's the she? Is it...
It might be Celine.
Okay.
For him, because...
Like, she's obviously the seductress here, like, tempting.
Well, yeah, and he had been thinking about her.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they got to Kyrian, like, he was very upset when he, like, was asking every day about her and no one knew where she was or who she was, obviously.
Yeah.
And... I don't know, maybe.
I was just wondering if you also thought, like, it could be one of the girls he's, like, showing some interest in.
It could be.
Yeah. So, or like, who have shown interest in him, rather. That's a better way to say it.
It doesn't sound like it was Egwene.
No, but, like, it could be, like, Elaine, because she's kind of like, showing some interest in Rand. Min clearly has ideas for him, so...
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure, but...
Okay.
It doesn't matter because he did not give in and have any
no.
kisses or more.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he yells out, "I deny you, father of lies." And so that's his, new catchphrase.
Yeah. Powerful. Not working very well. But...
Yeah. And then he takes out a sword made of fire, but, that's also marked with a heron.
Yeah. So, he's made a dream version of his sword made of fire.
Yeah.
Basically.
With the power, though.
With the power.
Because
and his sword,
he says that he learns when it works.
Okay. Kind of, sort of, you're misreading it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he does...
I think that he learns with the power when he can get the power to work for him.
Yes, but the one big thing that you kind of miss here is that what Egwene does, which is a terrible idea, she says, "You're going to listen to me, Rand al'Thor, if I have to sit on you."
Yeah.
And then she starts to weave something with the power to catch him in a net.
Well, to hold him in air, it says.
Yeah. Make a net, but that's basically what she's doing. So she's trying to use the power to do something to him.
Yeah.
And then he summons the sword and, cuts it, basically, what she's trying to do, because she says it felt as if her rope was stretched too tight and broke and snapped back on her. So, what she wove, he basically cut it.
And was like, you puny human?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. And that's when he's like, oh, I learned, see, when it works. And that's probably what he's talking about, the whole, yeah, when I can actually channel, so...
Yeah, that's bad that she does that.
Yeah, don't attack Rand in the dream world when he's like, people are trying to kill me.
And... is very exhausted, it seems.
Yeah, and then that's when he attacks her. So...
Right.
Yeah. And that's the issue, is Rand doesn't think that Egwene is Egwene. He thinks that it's somebody wearing Egwene's face.
Right. And we sort of saw this before in one of Rand's dreams, right? We saw his mother or something.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Long time ago, Beelzebub was doing something to him and showing his mother be attacked by a Murdral or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a super weird instance, I think, in Eye of the World.
Yeah.
So, it's a very long time ago for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did see something like that, so this could be similar.
Okay. So... he slashes basically at her with the sword, and she runs away.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't know how, but then all of a sudden she's back in the flowery meadow and thinks about, what she has learned from this interaction.
Yeah.
So the Dark One is still after Rand, and the Dark One maybe wants to kill him, but she thinks again about how she couldn't help him.
Yes.
And, that's her go-to.
Yeah.
And she has to let that go.
Well, this is also a huge issue because I put a little star here because she keeps thinking that the only way to help him is to gentle him, and
or
then
kill
she thinks,
him,
and then she's like, I could never do that. But it's a problem because when you think the only way to help someone is to gentle them or kill them, yeah, it's very quickly. Even if you're saying right now that no, I'll never do that, that can very easily be changed into that's the only thing I can do, so I have to do it.
Right, which leads me to believe that she's going to come up with another way to help him.
Or she's going to revert back to one of those two, gentle or kill.
Right.
So.
I don't think that.
You don't think that?
Nope.
Okay. I got time. I might change your mind.
No.
We'll see.
So she takes the Tel'aran'rhiod out and trickles a tiny bit of power into it and says, "Take me to where I need to be to find out answers about the Black Aja." And she finds herself in a place with some ugly old woman who says, "You have found your way at last, child. Lots of answers here."
Okay, yeah. So this is an interesting thing.
It is quite interesting.
Do we want to talk about what she's doing to travel first?
Sure.
Okay, because clearly when she takes the step in the world of dreams, she gets transported somewhere.
Yeah.
That's kind of the imagery we're getting here.
Yeah.
And we do also know that the last people she thought about was Perrin and Rand.
Right.
Before she went to sleep.
But then she starts taking steps.
Yeah.
And then nothing, it's she's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that's when she is hey Tel'aran'rhiod.
Well, it's very
take me to where I need to be now.
It kind of brings up Wizard of Oz, where it's there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And then it's you think about where you want to go, and then you get transported there.
Yeah.
If kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Except it doesn't work later.
It doesn't work later, but then it works here, or it supposedly works here.
Okay. So I also need to say that what you just said was quite interesting.
Okay.
Because she went to sleep thinking about Perrin and Rand.
True.
And she saw Perrin and Rand.
Yeah.
And then she also went to sleep thinking about Lanfear.
She certainly did.
And now this weird old lady is here saying some weird, crazy things.
She certainly is saying some weird, crazy things.
And is this Lanfear in disguise?
What do you think?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, let's talk about it then.
I like it.
It's
both,
a very... Yeah.
Both times I read this chapter...
Yeah.
I went back and forth about 50 times about whether or not I think that this old lady is Lanfear in disguise.
You bring up a funny point because it does give us very, like, Celine-esque views.
Very.
Where it's like, why is she talking the way she's talking if she's just some innocent Kyrian noblewoman? It makes a lot more sense if it's like Lanfear saying these things.
Yes. But it also doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
About how terrible she's talking about, like, the Forsaken.
Yeah.
And unless Lanfear doesn't consider herself a Forsaken.
Which isn't out of the realm of possibilities because she does seem to think highly of herself, but we also know that Lanfear just ran into Egwene. That whole interaction.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's put a pin and let's talk about Sylvie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is in the place where the crystal sword is, and she recognizes it as the one that Rand was reaching for in another dream.
Yes, we've seen this dream many times before.
Right. I also have a thought because she just ran into Rand.
Yeah.
And Rand was like projecting this dream onto people.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
Like when he was around them and with them.
Yeah, like in the mountains.
So, like when Egwene originally had this dream about Rand reaching for the sword, I sort of thought, like, is there a way that that was Rand?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, like, Perrin had the dream, but Perrin almost had this dream, like, in this dream world. Like, he was, like there.
Yeah.
Right? But same with Uno, same with a bunch of the other soldiers who all had the same dream.
Yeah.
And now Egwene just ran into Rand and then immediately is transported to this place.
Well, not immediately. She thinks about how can I find...
That's true.
So there's like that separation.
I know there's that layer. But
I know.
I'm just...
Also, I gotta bring up the imagery here of the old lady...
The old lady 80.
Of the ugly old lady stepping out of the shadows with like the old stick and stuff.
Yeah.
It super gives me Aladdin vibes where like Jafar... when he's like in the prison, like we're talking like the Disney version, where he's like in the prison cell with Aladdin. That's funny
because it gives me...
comes out of the shadows.
It gives me like old lady in Snow White.
Oh yeah,
who's the witch?
Okay,
just disguised.
That's a good one too.
To give the poison apple as like the real ugly old lady with the wart on her nose.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
That's pretty funny. So that they both work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get that this old lady's name is poor old Sylvie, and she tells Egwene that she has served her family faithfully for years.
Yeah.
Don't you recognize me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say to everybody I meet.
Yeah. I know.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So we find out that this place for sure is the heart of the stone.
Yes.
And it's full of answers and secrets.
Yep.
But apparently... none but the High Lords can enter here. And, of course, the servants.
Yeah, and we've heard this before about it's like, I think we might have heard it from Moraine when she was explaining what Kalandor was. And it's like, clearly, the heart of the stone is like the center of Tyr, and nobody goes there but nobles.
Right. So Egwene asks about the secrets, and the lady says, plots. All of them pretending to serve the Great Lord. And this was one of my many indications that this is somebody not good.
Yeah.
Because only people who serve the Shadow refer to the Dark One as
the Great Lord. Yeah, the Great Lord of the Dark.
Yeah.
Instead of like the Dark One.
Instead of the Dark One.
Yeah.
So, no matter who this is, it's not someone good.
Okay. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay, so just hypothetically speaking here, because you're either going with like, this is Lanfear or it's not.
Yeah, super definitive.
Yeah, but it's like, we know that well, do we know? Can Lanfear change her appearance?
We don't know.
We know that she, like, Celine...
I assume that she probably can. in the dream world.
But like to what extent?
I feel like a lot of things can happen in this world of dreams.
Yeah. We get over and over again, like anybody who sees
and
her.
I'm not ruling out anything at this point.
Okay.
With this lady.
Okay. Yeah, that's good enough.
Because at first, remember, I thought it was like maybe Moraine disguised.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Celine.
Well, it's hard to say like what extent can Aes Sedai, if at all, Forsaken, can they change their appearance?
I think it might be different in this world of dreams.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot to know about this place.
Can I like push your conspiracy theory a little further?
Sure.
So just a page before, she says, "Does this old face still frighten you? Don't let it, my lady. It serves me when I need it, as good as a prettier. ...
Right.
So it's just feeding into the whole like.
Yeah.
Is her face her face, or is her face like a different face? Whose face is it? Who's under the face? I don't know.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Is it just like a Halloween mask?
And it's like
terrible.
I just want to remind you here, like I know we're going on this whole Lanfear train, but there's a lot of other Forsaken out there.
Yes.
There isn't just like Lanfear and, Ishamael / Baalzamon.
I know.
So.
Yep. Well, that's why I said it's either Lanfear or someone bad. It's not poor old Sylvie.
Oh, okay.
If that's,
You're not buying it.
Not so much.
Okay.
So she says that basically all the High Lords, all of them, are pretending to serve the Great Lord while plotting and planning to regain what they have lost. Each one thinking that he or she is the only one plotting. Ishamael is a fool.
Yeah.
And then she tells Egwene to say, Baalzamon is a fool. It feels good to laugh at the shadow.
Yeah.
And I went, no.
Yeah.
And then Egwene's like, ha ha ha, Baalzamon's a fool. She like
totally.
yells it out. And I was
feels good.
And I was like, don't do it, man. Like, isn't that whole like naming?
No, Shaitan.
Oh, Shaitan.
Don't use his real name.
Right, yeah. right.
Summon the demon.
Right. But still, I don't think she should just be yelling this out.
Yeah, like she's very trusting of this crazy old Sylvie lady very quickly.
Yeah. Like I don't know what's happening. This is probably not good.
It's the Emmons Fielder, naivety.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So the lady then tells Egwene about Kalendor, the sword that can't be touched, and about how the Dragon Reborn will hold it one day. And then she says something weird about the Forsaken all wanting to wield it.
Yeah, so this is kind of like an important piece of information we don't know, because she says precious few knows what it is. So, like, we know that Kalendor is a sword that cannot be, touched, and
but it's
a
also
sword
a
that is
sword
not a
that's
sword.
Not a sword.
Yeah, but, like, very few people know what it is. And it's kind of funny, because I think we had a bonus episode, Q&A, something, someone asked, what is Kalendor? And we don't know. We don't know what Kalendor is.
Yeah.
We know it's a sword that's not a sword, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We know what it's not, which is a sword.
Yeah.
But it is a sword. But we don't exactly know. And a few people know, but Sylvie's not telling us.
No.
So,
okay.
But apparently a lot of the Forsaken want it, but they can't get it because only the dragon can get it.
Only the dragon can get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, that's apparently
No.
Right?
I mean, it's interesting that the Forsaken want it and only the dragon can get it, but it's like they're gonna need to use the dragon to get it, almost.
Oh, to, break past the whole, well, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
King Arthur's, sword in the stone, you have to be the right person to pull the sword out of the stone.
But then once it's out,
it's anybody's game.
Right.
Right? So.
True. Okay.
Okay.
So, this is what made me go back a little bit about thinking this is Celine, because when she says the Forsaken want to wield it, she's almost talking about the Forsaken as if they're a group of people she's
third
not
party.
Related to in any way.
Yeah.
And so that seemed kind of weird to me, because even though she might have different plans than Baalzamon, and she thinks Ishamael's a fool and all this stuff, but
we know that
she
Lanfear
still knows she's one of the Forsaken.
Yeah, we know that Lanfear doesn't connect with the Aes Sedai, even though way back when she was technically, but she's renounced that name.
Yeah.
But for her to do it to the Forsaken,
just speaking like this because she's talking to Egwene
and trying to fool Egwene.
Well, she's obviously trying to fool Egwene.
Sort of.
For some reason.
Egwene is very easy to fool, though, in this situation.
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here.
Just plug it all away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Egwene reaches out her power probe to test out like what's holding the sword.
You say power probe?
Power
That's pretty good.
probe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
I
like that?
That's
okay.
good.
So she can feel that air, fire, and spirit were used to create it, and there are gaps in the weave that she feels like she should be able to push through.
Yeah.
And can't, and then she realizes that this is Sidene.
This is really important.
And then she like stops right away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I shouldn't be messing with that. And then this was created using both halves of the power.
Yeah, and we've heard this over and over again, like the best works are created when the men and women will work together, but this is like one of the first instances I think we've ever seen where there's literally two sides of the power being used together.
And it's like a weave.
Yes.
So like I picture like the one way of the weave being the side in and one being Sidar.
I like that. That's good.
So like it's like because there's like sort of gaps she feels, but it's
like there's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's really important for us in the magic system knowledge to know that someone who can like use Sidar can't see or feel or like interact with Sidene at all.
Yeah, except
so
for
like
the fact that she knows there's like a wall there. Yeah. And then she thinks, oh, shit.
Yeah. And it's like likely the reverse is true where like for Rand, for example, can't see Sidar weaves or anything like that.
Right.
Like same thing.
Yeah.
So.
But they have to somehow work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like good for the magic system.
Well, and that's probably why Maureen is like, I can't help you, bro. Yeah. I can't even see what
like
you
I
see.
got no idea.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So she hears footsteps behind her, and Sylvie says they have to leave now. He's coming to stare at it again, and he can't know that we were here.
Okay, who is he?
I don't know.
Okay.
Some Forsaken.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
I thought you might think, like, maybe is it, like, Rand?
No.
Okay, alright.
No, he's at his campfire.
I know you say that because we just saw him there. But it's like, it's an interesting thing, because, like, who would come to stare at Kalendor if not Rand?
She said, like, the High Lords are always here just, like, staring after it.
Yeah, that's true, too.
So...
Okay, and, like, the Forsaken
like maybe
all wanted,
Baalzamon or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So then she realizes that Egwene, like, doesn't know how to get out of here.
This is hilarious
and
because,
Egwene, like, tries to channel into the Ter'angreal and is like, take me back to the hills. Yeah. And Sylvie's like, you don't know the way back. And she's like, I'll take you back. Safe in your bed. And Egwene's like, no, just show me. And then Sylvie has gotten her fingers on the stone ring.
Totally accidentally.
And Egwene says, don't touch that. That's mine. That's my ring. Well, my precious.
There's a bunch of important stuff there. So it's like, it's really funny in the writing because it's like Sylvie is totally like disappointed in Egwene for coming here.
And
like
not knowing how she got here or like how to get out. And,
So it's like, it clearly is like Sylvie isn't just some old little servant.
Yeah.
Like she knows where she is.
Right.
Right. And she knows that you have to like physically leave somehow. And then she like intertwines her fingers in the ring. We do find out later, like, you know, that it's not like gone. Because that's like my instinct. Yeah. It's like if Sylvie's got her fingers on the ring, is she going to like
yank it off her neck?
Yank it somehow? Like, you know?
Yeah, because Egwene says, don't touch that, and then pain annihilates the world.
Which is like, okay.
Crazy.
Very similar to the Ter'angreal for the testing.
Yeah.
Where like light ripped her into a billion shreds or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Egwene wakes up in her bed with a scream saying, that hurt!
Yeah.
Ouch!
Well, we've also seen other people get booted out of dreams before. We saw Perrin get booted out of a dream by
Selene.
Hopper, too.
Oh, by Hopper.
Like lunging for his neck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying Selene. I mean Lanfear, but yeah.
Yeah, but Lanfear, too. Like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. And she, like, changed
Whirls the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, Hopper literally, like, woke him up.
That's true.
So.
In the dream.
Yeah. We didn't get a whole pain annihilated his world, though.
No, we didn't. But Elaine asks, was it that bad? And it's like, no, she just wakes up screaming in pain because it's good.
It's just the night terrors. It's okay.
Because turns out she never stirred or even mumbled, and they didn't know whether to wake her up or not. And this was the problem I had with them sitting around her anyway.
Yeah, like, zero game plan.
Yeah, and then Egwene says, next time we decide on a time and you wake me up after that time, like after that time limit's up.
Yeah.
And so she's already decided that she's going back, number one.
Yeah, and like we knew that.
That's fine. But we also, as readers and as Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine, we don't know what will happen to a person who's in the dream world with this Tel'aran'rhiod if you wake them up.
Yeah, or if you can wake them up.
Or if you can wake them up.
They'll just be like unconscious. You're trying to dunk their head in a barrel of water or something.
Well,
so
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a bunch of mysteries for later.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know. Go to the library, guys.
Yeah.
Like, try and figure something out.
Well, this is the interesting thing. Is like, we know that Varen hid a bunch of papers of Corianon's about the dream world. And it's like, why did Varen not give her the papers? Was it nefarious, or was it like, this is all shitty information anyways,
and it's
let
like,
them figure it out?
I know. I personally feel like that wasn't Varen's call to make.
Well, neither was giving her the Tel'aran'rhiod
without the papers.
Yeah,
too.
So
like, I don't think that was Varen's call to make. Oh, this is shitty information and won't help you. When Varen has like zero knowledge, other than the fact that she tried to go there once and got hurt.
Yeah.
And came out.
But that's the thing. Maybe she got hurt following the instructions on the paperwork. Like, who knows, right? Like, maybe there was like bad intel and she got hurt because of it. So
maybe. Okay. So Egwene tells them everything that she dreamed, except for Perrin's Wolfie secret, because that's not her secret to tell, and I guess that's considerate.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then they decide that Tyr is definitely a trap, but it's the best way to catch whoever set the trap, so they need to go there.
I gotta say, this sounds like terrible advice.
It's awful. And you're in the middle of the night, and you're all worked up, you're all emotional.
We're going to Tyr.
Let's go!
Get in the boat.
And I mean, I do think they have to go there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, like, also, Nynaeve's whole thing about, like, the best way to, like, what is it, catch the person who sets the trap is spring it and wait for them to show up. But it's like, hopefully you're not in the trap when you spring it.
Yeah.
But, like, even if you think, like, this is clearly, like, a ploy to make you go to Tyr knowing there's probably a trap.
Well, and especially considering...
It's like Trapception, where there's a trap within a bigger trap, and there's an even bigger trap.
Whoa, so many traps!
Too many traps.
So Lanfear shows up.
Yeah.
Basically leads them to these garbage bags full of information about Tyr.
Yeah.
Telling them to
like,
get to
blatantly,
Tyr.
overly obviously.
And then finds Egwene in the world of dreams.
In Tyr,
obviously to show her this. And I think now talking about it, I'm a little more leaning towards this is Lanfear. It makes sense to me that this is Lanfear, because I'm still on the path that I think Lanfear is on to what Baalzamon is planning.
Yes, right.
So if Baalzamon, she's like, Ishmael's a fool. So if this is Lanfear, in this scene, she says, he's a fool. He doesn't even realize that other people are plotting around him. There are Forsaken who want to wield this. If Baalzamon is somehow enticing Rand to get to Tyr, right? And then sending Black Aja to Tyr because they're going to use Rand and the Black Aja to get the sword. Because maybe to get the sword, they need both of them weaving together.
Makes sense if it was created that way.
Potentially.
Yeah, okay.
And if Lanfear's aware of this, she needs these three idiots. And I don't want to call them idiots, but they're acting like idiots.
They are. Yeah, they're not being like level-headed and smart about it. They're acting
overly emotional, but they're gonna... This is a very convoluted Lanfear plan,
it's
but
the kind of
do you know where I'm going?
Put a bull in a china shop and like hope that things break.
Yeah.
It's like, it's probably like if you put these three girls into the middle of this situation, they're gonna do something that messes up the plan for Baalzamon.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, like whatever his plan actually is. If it is to somehow use Rand / the Black Aja. Like,
I have no idea. I don't know what it is.
So she's working independently to do something separate.
Or they're working together. Because I also just had a flash memory of Baalzamon and a woman in white standing over Rand.
But that's true. We did see that.
Before
the portal stones.
The portal stone.
Yeah.
That was Egwene's dream.
Yes.
She saw them together.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they were almost working together. So...
One thing I will say, it doesn't seem...
She's very contemptuous of him, though.
Yeah.
If they're still working together, I think that she's secretly not working with him.
It seems like they want Rand dead. Well, it seems like Baalzamon wants Rand dead. Lanfear wants to, still be Rand's lover. But it doesn't seem like Lanfear wants to kill the girls, because if she wanted to, she could just kill them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like, that doesn't
Easy.
seem like a hard thing. I can understand, like, not being able to kill Rand.
No, I think
he's
I think the whole Gray Man thing.
Yeah.
And the whole send them to Shan-Chan thing.
It's a very weird...
I think that's a Black Aja Baalzamon plan.
Not a Lanfear plan, because
Lanfear. Because Lanfear could easily just off him.
Walk in and, like,
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't have to be such an elaborate plot.
Like, plot to get them to go to Tyr.
Through the ways.
Yeah.
To Shan-Chan, to get them across the sea, to get them collared.
Yeah.
To whatever, to send them away so they don't interfere with shit. That seems like a Baalzamon.
Yeah.
Black Aja Dark Friend thing. And that's why I think Lanfear might be removed from this.
Okay.
So now the plan is to go to Tyr somehow, but there's a problem about Elaine coming with them.
Yeah.
Because, number one, the Amyrlin doesn't know. Well, she probably does, actually. But the Amyrlin, they think the Amyrlin doesn't know.
Are you changing your opinion on that?
Yeah, I am.
Why?
They're just so bad at everything. Like, there's no way these three girls are always hanging out together.
It's a Moraine situation where, like, Swan has just, like, seen these three girls, like, tromping through the hallways together.
It's literally
and she's
exactly
like, yup,
that.
they're working together.
Yeah, that's like...
Okay.
That's what I think.
It's not like some great intuition.
Nope.
It's just like,
No. They've, like, literally outed themselves.
Yeah, these three girls who never spend any time apart.
Yes, exactly. So, there's also a problem with Elaine disappearing again, and Morghese literally starting a war.
Yeah,
if
with Tar
Elaine
Valon.
Disappears again.
Like, this would be insanity.
Yeah.
So
they decide, rather impulsively, that they will leave tomorrow.
Yeah, but they're going to leave a note for Morghese.
But they're not going to tell anyone.
Except unless Swan decides to come visit them tomorrow during the day.
If she seeks us out, then maybe we'll let her know what we're doing. This is very, like, teenager.
Yeah.
Very... Well, I guess she doesn't care about us anymore. We can do whatever we want.
It's been a whole 36 hours and she hasn't come and talked to us.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, because I think you asked me maybe off of the microphone, you asked, why is it weird if the girls go seek out Swan?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a valid question. It's like, why don't they just go and be like, hey, let's talk? I think it's because, like, nobody would try to call a meeting with Swan the Amyrlin, and that would cause too many, like, red flags for anyone who would be potentially watching, like, Elida, for example. I
feel like they could, though there should be some sort of, like, hey, Varen, remember that information you gave us because you're in on this with the Amyrlin?
Yeah.
Could you please go tell the Amyrlin we need to see her?
And then make the Amyrlin come down.
Or whatever it is. Or get Varen to bring them or something. Like, there's a way to go about doing this that's not stupid. Turns out not, though.
No. Definitely not.
So Nynaeve laughs. And she says she knows one person who can take Elaine's letter to Morghese.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to leave Tar Valon. She'd bet on it.
Matrim Bloody Cawthon.
Yeah. And then also, man, Zac Efron just keeps popping up and singing that Bet on It song.
Oh, no. Nobody wants that.
No. I would be okay with it. Yeah. If Zac Efron just, like, popped out to sing a song.
Okay. Nice little cameo.
Turn the Wheel of Time into a musical?
Why not?
Oh, I love it. That'd be so good.
Who wouldn't like that?
I would freaking love it. That'd be so good, actually.
We talked about this with Spencer.
Yeah.
Venn diagram of Wheel of Time versus
High School Musical
fans.
High
School Musical fans.
But there's also probably a crossover between Wheel of Time fans and musical fans.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Like, if the Wheel of Time show was a musical.
Boom, I'd watch that.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
On Broadway. Wheel of Time on Broadway.
Do it. Let's write a script. Why not?
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Get Lin-Manuel Miranda on board. We got a hit.
There we go.
Like, everything he touches is gold. Yeah. So, okay.
Is that the Hamilton guy?
Hamilton and Moana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that in just for Tyler.
Oh, no.
Okay. So, chapter 28
is
A Way Out.
Yes. Okay. And again, kind of surface level.
And we get the dice picture. And
Yes.
you know what I actually think this dice picture is?
What?
I think it's the Tel'aran'rhiod of the dice cluster.
What?
You know the Tel'aran'rhiod that's a carved cluster of dice?
Yeah, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
You think that is this?
I don't know.
Why?
It's a cluster of dice.
Sure, but it's not like he has it.
No, I know. But it represents Matt and luck and I don't know.
Okay.
Like I know it's for Matt right now, but like
Yeah.
maybe later on it's for something else.
Okay, you know what? I'll go with it.
Cool.
I like it.
Okay, so we're in Matt's perspective. Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve go to his room, bust in without knocking, and he's in his breeches.
You know what? People have like a habit of not knocking on Matt's door.
Yeah.
And they're just like walking in.
What about people walking into their room? Like no one here is actually
with
knocking.
else? Yeah. Yeah, well there's the convenient, I was going to say it's a bad thing if you just like walk into people's rooms unannounced. Like,
that's how you catch people doing stuff.
Sometimes you don't want to catch them doing that stuff, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, Matt thinks it's good to see their faces, and then he thinks, well, at first it was.
Yeah.
And then Nynaeve is like, how you doing, little buddy? You look ready to get out of here to me.
Yeah, this
and
is like the worst sweet talking I've ever. Like it's
what
terrible.
Do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the saying from Abel Cawthon.
Oh yeah,
like
because he
Matt's
looks
dad.
at them and he can't decide who is prettier, and then he says something that his dad used to say. Do you want to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 pretty woman means fun at the dance. 2 pretty women means trouble in the house. 3 pretty women means run for the hills.
Oh man.
It's like so good. Yeah.
So Matt also notices that all 3 of them are wearing serpent rings.
I like Matt's attitude here.
Which is new.
Yes. I like his attitude, his like philosophy. Not my business.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
It's like there's so many people in this series who like impose themselves on other people's business.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like,
I think that
stay out
Matt's
of
just
it.
like, I don't care enough.
Yeah, not
to
touching
get
this
involved.
One.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to do that, do that. Not my deal.
Yeah. And he also notices that their hands look like they've been washing dishes, and I just make a mental note for myself that Matt can be very observant.
He's not stupid.
No.
Like that's the whole thing. Like he's never been a stupid guy.
No.
He gets into trouble and he causes shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes just for fun.
Uh-huh.
But like he's smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
You gotta be smart to catch a badger.
Well.
They bite.
Okay. So Egwene says that she knew they should just ask him outright. He's as stubborn as a mule and as tricksome as a cat. And then Matt, like, I don't know if he, like, pretends to get offended or if he's like, hey!
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
Yeah.
You are, like, enough. And Elaine asks him, oh, pretty please, would you carry a letter to Camelin for me? And then, like, bats her eyelashes at him.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about this because we've gotten a couple instances this chapter again where Matt's like observing.
Thinks about how pretty she is and wonders if she likes to dance.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like he's clearly thinking about it.
Yeah,
so.
but then he goes, what do I get out of it?
Yeah, it
He's
doesn't
like,
last long.
No, it doesn't. And Elaine does her whole, I'm the daughter heir of Andor, and aren't you a loyal subject of Andor?
Which again is so good that his only response is just like snickering,
to
laughing
laugh
at her. Like, yeah.
And Egwene's like, I told you that wouldn't work.
Like this entire
like they've
interaction.
all talked about
oh man.
how to talk to Matt.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, like I want to see that conversation.
Like prepping for like how do we get Matt to do what we want. So.
Yeah. So Nynaeve just steps in and says, look, dude, we took care of you. We know you want to see the world. You want to get out of Tarvalin and help us out.
Yeah.
And, like, is that not good enough for you? And so he admits that he can't leave because the Amyrlin has made it impossible for him to leave because he is sick and she wants him to stay until he is healed.
Yeah, and this is really interesting because we get a different take on this whole thing where we now find out that it doesn't seem like the girls have any idea about Matt blowing the horn of Valyr.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty obvious because even when they were worried about like the Amyrlin not healing Matt, the one topic that didn't come up was because of the horn.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a topic of discussion.
No, and I don't even know if they know if the horn was blown. Like, they know they carried it, right?
Yeah,
but it
and
was
they were
almost
they
like
were in the middle of it in
they were
Sean
in the
Shan.
middle of it and stuff, and they were like, I thought I saw Arthur Hawkwing, but, like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't connect it at all.
Crazy fairy tale, I was seeing things because,
Except for, let's carry the Horn of Valir from where that battle was to Tarvalin for, like, months on end.
Didn't connect it.
And we're not going to think about it or talk about it?
Yeah. And it was, like, months of travel. But that's the thing, is it doesn't seem, and in this thought process, it doesn't seem like the girls know that he is the...
No. Definitely.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Because then Nynaeve is like, what? That's weird. And then she does this, like, speedy trick where she must be angry because I don't know how else she can use the power right now.
Oh, she's clearly angry.
And so she uses the power to check him out.
Delve him.
I was going to ask, is this delving?
This seems like delving.
Because...
Delving is like when you check in on somebody.
Yeah, on their soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure they're all good.
And he's, like, not happy about it.
And let's talk about asking permission before you do that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Seems a little invasive.
A little bit.
Because he's like, hey! And she's like, BS, you're healthy. Like, a little weak, but you're healthy. Like, that can't be why.
Yeah.
Because the Amyrlin would know that you're fully healed. There's not, like, a 1% chance that this is coming back. Like, I can feel that you're fully healed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And Matt says, well, I think it's actually because of the dagger, and the Aes Sedai want to study it and figure out how it did what it did. And that's an interesting theory that he's come up with on his own.
Yeah. It's like, don't want to poison the world.
It's not actually why, but it's interesting in itself.
Yeah, it's one of those half-truths where it's like, kind of true.
Yeah.
It's like, also, we don't want you to somehow be still, like, reinfected. But it's also not the truth.
But we also just don't want you to go out on your own and then, like, die and us not know you're dead.
Yeah.
And then need you for the horn for
it's
Tarmin Gaiden.
Oh, my
because,
goodness.
like, that's a big deal. So, anyway, they decide to give Matt one of their secret swan letters.
Yeah. So, okay, I gotta talk about this. This is the best.
So Matt can leave and deliver the letter. Like,
Makes
are you
sense.
joking with this?
Why?
This is the worst.
This seems a lot better than your crazy, let's go through the ways.
Oh,
that seems logical.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Let's talk about how terrible that plan was.
I just don't like that they're giving these letters out willy-nilly. Like, this is not what the Amyrlin had in mind, even a little bit.
It was so great, because when you're coming up with this, like, oh, let's go through the ways, it's like, how? Like, how are we going to do this? We don't know how to... But
Can I tell you a secret?
Okay.
You know the last chapter that was called Behind a Lock?
Yeah.
So I had, before I read the chapter before it, I was counting pages to see, like, how long my notes were going to be and stuff. And I saw the chapter called Behind a Lock.
Yeah.
But that was, like, already I had predicted they were going through the ways. Oh. And I know there's a lock on the Ogier Grove.
Okay.
And so, but I had already talked to you about how I think they're going to use the ways.
So you thought that it was going to be
I thought it was, that's where my mind immediately went. Because I was only, like,
so
one
funny.
chapter ahead.
Yeah.
And I was reading both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And
so, like, you're going to find out immediately anyways.
And I saw it, and I was like, ooh, I'm so excited. And then it was, like, super shitty and terrible. And I was like, not even a little bit are they going to
You're so wrong. You're so off.
Wrong.
But, okay.
I was so
I mean, I don't want to
wrong.
spoil it and be like, oh, actually, no, he's going to use the letter to go through the ways. But, like, it doesn't seem that's the direction it's going anymore, so... But it's kind of funny because it's really easy to forget that the girls had these two notes.
I didn't forget. I just didn't think that they were going to, like, give one to Matt Cawthon to board a boat and, like, get out of here. Like,
it's a pretty good plan.
And actually trusting Matt to get to Caemlyn with this letter for Morgase.
Okay, I resent that because Matt is a man of his word. He hasn't broken it. He doesn't break a promise.
He's going to lose all his money.
Maybe.
And then he's not going to be able to get there.
Maybe, but he'll find a way there. Okay. And also, Matt doesn't lose at gambling.
And also...
He wins money.
How is he going to just, like, walk up to the Queen of Andor with a letter?
That's a great... I hope they write about that. I hope that's a chapter or something. That would be a good chapter, tell you that much.
Yeah. Okay.
You're assuming he makes it to Caemlyn.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so where were we? Let me see.
Yeah. Matt asking for money.
Matt wants money. money. And then Nynaeve says he should have plenty of money because he gambled every night with her and on their journey until he got too sick. And I just...
This is great. This is exactly what you predicted.
Can I just say, though?
Yeah.
Like, somebody has to talk to Nynaeve about how gambling works. Because if somebody's gambled every night, chances are they have no money left. Because gamblers typically don't just stop when they win a bunch of money.
Yeah. Well, they only talk about their winnings. But anyways.
But Nynaeve is like, you gambled a whole bunch. You should have lots of money. No, in reality, if you gambled a whole bunch, you should have no money. Because that's how gambling typically works.
No, and I get that too. But it's like also you're gambling with the same people every night. It's not like they're going to keep having more and more and more money.
They were gambling with the same people every night.
While they were traveling, there was a very limited crew there. He was gambling with Hurin.
With Hurin at inns along their journey.
Oh, true. Okay.
So like Hurin and Matt, probably as some kind of team, were maybe gambling against other local people.
True, but he also says, we gambled for coppers, Nynaeve, and he would not even do that after a while. So it also sounds like maybe they were gambling at inns, but also they were just gambling him and Hurin back and forth, and like after a while, it just becomes like a nil game, so like you can't keep winning more and more money.
I still pictured it like...
Yeah.
They were betting against other people. Like,
you know what they probably spent it on? Liquor. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, plus, I was right about the whole gambling
you were,
on the trip. Okay.
You were right about that, so.
Okay. So, after, Matt's happy, he's going to get his way out of Tarvalon. I'm a little bit concerned because he's still starving Marvin. And, like, where's he going to get all that food he needs to remain healthy?
Yeah.
Because that part, like, I don't think he should be leaving just yet. So, like, I'm a little bit concerned for his health.
Yeah. That's a fair concern.
And then, I don't know. It all seems like... I thought that maybe they would leave together and, like, get to Caemlyn together, and then sort of they go off on their own.
But it does seem like they're going to Tyr and he's going to Caemlyn.
I just figure you have to go south to get to Tyr, and you also have to go south to get to Caemlyn. So in my mind, they're gonna... Like, I thought they'd travel together.
Yeah.
But no, it probably makes more sense to get a secret letter if Elaine's not part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
But how long is it gonna take Matt to get from Tarvalon to Caemlyn to get that letter to Morghese before there's word that she's gone again?
Well, okay, that's a good question, but like probably not too much longer if he's just doing a direct route, like by boat or something, right? And it's like, how else would Morghese know that Elaine is gone if she's not like they don't have a two-way radio or something to be like, is she here?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it would take a while anyways to let her know that she's missing. And Elaine was gone in the Shanshan bit
for like a couple months,
and it was like a long time. And if the Amberlin couldn't fake, a letter or whatever, so they've got a bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Those are just my concerns.
No, they're good. They're valid.
Okay.
They're valid.
So Matt agrees. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
They've decided, the girls anyway, like when they had their little secret meeting about giving Matt the letter, they basically say, one is fine as long as we stay together.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably going to be an issue. Like, let's be real.
Well, also, this letter isn't going to have much power outside of Tarvalon. Like, we already know that. Like, it's not going to do very much.
I think that they're going to use it to leave Tarvalon.
That's what it seems like.
They're probably going to use it for this.
But it's like, also, why would they not leave together? Like...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. So, they stay and they chat for a little bit, and Elaine tells Matt about like who to talk to in Caemlyn, about the city and about the palace and everything, and then he's sort of sad to see them stand to go.
Well, notice that Matt thinks something specific.
That he wants to dance with her again?
Yeah, he'd be a fool to get involved with her.
Oh, that part.
That part. I just gotta point it out. It's there. It's in the writing. So.
Okay. All right.
Are you gonna ship Matt and Elaine?
No.
Okay.
Elaine is gonna be with Rand.
Okay. Hey.
Elaine does not have eyes for Matt. No way, Jose.
Hey, not yet.
No, she does not.
You never know what's going to happen.
She is fully obsessed with Rand.
Fine. Okay.
And Min has already seen them together. She hasn't seen Elaine and Matt together.
Hey, just because you're supposed to end up with someone doesn't mean you can't have some fun on the side.
Okay. Still no.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So, I have to appreciate Matt a little bit here because he's like, I know you guys are going to be Aes Sedai, and that's your own business, but if you ever need any help from me, like, I'll be there.
You know, I like that too.
I like that he at least says it, and it's like, don't worry, guys. I know I hate Aes Sedai, and that's what you guys are.
But, like, you're still
like, my people.
Yeah.
And then they, like, all laugh hysterically at him his face.
I see both sides of it, because they just got given that also by, like, Lan said that to Nynaeve.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, like, the exact same thing. And I can't...
And Hurin.
Yeah, and
Hurin was like, I'll stay here and protect you.
And they're like, whatever,
like,
dude.
Yeah, okay, you realize what we can do, right?
Yeah. So it's like, it's just been like multiple people have said this exact thing to them.
Yeah,
but it's like, I also appreciate, and Matt's not saying it because he's a guy and they're women.
No.
He's saying like, hey,
I'm your friend.
We're friends and I'll be there if you need me.
I get that I'm helping you here, like, with this.
Yeah.
And I get that I gave you a hard time about this, but if you need anything.
Yeah.
Like, just as, like, a person to person.
I agree. It's, like, a very nice gesture from Matt.
Like, if you need me to carry another letter, if you need, like other than attack people for you.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like a damsel in distress situation.
No, I didn't think so either.
Okay.
But I really like what Egwene says here, because I have to tell you, like, I feel this personally.
Okay.
She tells him that when a woman needs help, she needs it today, not tomorrow.
Oh, you feel that?
Personally.
Well, I personally feel Matt's next thought.
Which is women are odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just someone who, if I, like, need you to do something for me,
yeah,
and you're like, yep, and then you don't do it, like, literally right away.
32 seconds later, yeah.
Then I just get up and do it myself.
No, I get it, yeah.
Because if I've asked you to do something, it's because I need it done now, not in...
That's totally debatable, too.
Okay, and when I say need, I mean want.
There you go. That's the debatable
part. Like, I really personally felt this. It was like, yes.
Yes.
If you tell me you're going to be home in half an hour, you better be home in
I've learned that personally. It's like, if I'm going to be 2 hours, I might as well just say 2 hours. Don't say an hour and then, like, deal with the fallout of the extra hour later.
Well, I get worried.
Just be like,
stuff.
2 hours. It's going to be late.
I'm such, like, a time person.
I know. You are super
It has
time
nothing
focused.
to do with, like, literally anything other than my, like, mental problems. But...
Yeah, no, I get it.
Seriously.
So, but yeah, lesson learned.
Okay.
Yeah, long time ago. We're good.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's been a very long time since that's been an issue. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep. So, after they leave, he thinks it's funny that the Amyrlin's words are the ones that will set him free from her. And get him away from Selene.
Ooh.
And I just think, nope.
Ooh.
That chick's following you everywhere.
Because it's not Selene, it's Lanfear.
Right. And then he says out loud, "You'll never catch me." And I think, okay, Matt.
I can just see him doing like a little jig too in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's definitely, because we are, next chapter, we are...
Halfway
through the book.
Yep.
And the best part about being halfway through any of these books is that it's a race to the end.
Yes.
So...
No, it's good. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited at the pace we're going.
Yeah.
I think it's been good. My little break from my master's course here has allowed us to do a little bit more, a little bit quicker. You know, July was a little bit slower because we had our, like, vacations and everything, and I think that...
Yeah.
You know, we gotta finish this book before this baby decides to show up.
Yes.
So...
Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
So 2 months we'll be done the book.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I want to go read.
Okay.
Because, remember how last time I was like, oh man, we're not finding out anything about anyone else. But then, if we're just in Egwene's dreams...
Well, the best part,
we sort of got to see kind of where people are at.
You kind of did.
Mentally, anyway.
We get like a little action plan because now we know that Rand is on the way to Tyr.
Like, they're gonna leave. Like, we're actually leaving.
Yeah.
Carvalhan, I think. I think that's probably happening, like, right away.
Well, that's happening tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
So...
As long as we stay with them.
Yeah.
Which I assume we are at this point. Like, we'll actually be surprised if we don't leave with them tomorrow.
Like right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we also know that we've got Moiraine and Lan and Perrin and Loyal.
Yeah.
They are just chasing Rand, basically.
Yeah.
So we've got the 3 girls going to Tyr, and we got Matt going to Camelin.
And we got Min going to Tarvalin, but these chicks are going to be out of there.
Gone. Oh, man. So they're going to be gone. So she's going to be there by herself.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, man. Poor Min.
Yeah.
Real short end of the stick, this book.
A little bit.
The Dragon Reborn is not Min's book.
And it's funny because last book we left on such a strong note where Min's like with Rand, like physically with Rand, being like, Rand is mine.
Yeah.
And then like Lanfear comes in and it's
like Egwene sees it, like it was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing and we get
now
nothing.
Min is like real short end of the stick here so far.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go read. I'm excited to move on. And I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett with Vince Lewick, Scott Williams, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Michelle O'Brien, Derek Benton, Benjamin, and Derek Schluter, with music by Audionautics.com. If you'd like bonus content, like bonus episodes, outtakes, Q&As, more fun Wheel of Time talk, early access, cool stickers and keychains, and also to support us making great content, visit us at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We love interacting with our listeners. Plus, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. We'd really love for you to come over and join our Discord channel for some spoiler or spoiler-free discussions. You can find the links at our Twitter page as well as on our Patreon page. Thanks again for tuning in because this really is part of the pattern now.